major, here today with his parents Michelle and Frederick Jaku. Anthony will return to Trinity for his 5th year, after which he plans to work for Ernst & Young Accounting. Number 3, Sebastian Trevino, a business analytics and technology major who is also minoring in data science from China Spring, Texas, with his parents, Ann and Rudy Trevino, and his brother Christian. Sebastian would like to thank his parents for all they've done for him and their never-ending support. He hopes to work in the data science field. Number 4, Johnny Milo, an accounting major from the Woodlands, here today with his girlfriend Kylie King. Johnny will work with Grant Thornton, an accounting firm, and Amrisk, a catastrophe and specialty property insurance firm. Zadrian Moore, a marketing major from Schertz, Texas, with his mom Kim Conley, dad Tony Moore, brother Brandon Johnson, and grandmother Iris Johnson. Zadrian plans to work on his master's next year while also coaching as a graduate assistant. Number 8, Jaden Powell, an engineering major who is also minoring in both math and physics from Denton, Texas, with his parents Tyler and Jody Powell. Jaden is excited to start his career as a technical sales engineer with Motor Controls Incorporated in Dallas. He would also like to thank his parents for their consistent love and support over the years. Number 10, Tyson Boat, a neuroscience and chemistry double major who is also minoring in business from Frisco, Texas, with his parents, Andy Apple and Chad and Krista Boat. Tyson is applying to medical school in pursuit of a career as an Army doctor. He would like to thank his parents for supporting him every step of the way. Jonathan Woa-Bugdo, an engineering major who is minoring in mathematics from Missouri City, Texas, with his parents, Joseph and Edith Woa-Bugdo. Jonathan hopes to work in civil engineering here in San Antonio. Number 14, Lucas Marine, an accounting and finance double major from Round Rock, Texas, with his parents, Robbie and Rebecca Marine, and his sister, Madeline Marine. Lucas plans to earn a master's in accounting. Number 15, Colin Bishop, a finance and economics double major from Childress, Texas, with his parents, Adam and Stacy Bishop, and his mom, Dr. Amy Bishop. Colin says, praise God, he is extremely thankful for the love and support of his parents and to the coaching staff and fellow seniors. Colin is planning to pursue a career in finance, such as venture capital or wealth management. Number 16, Trey Green, a marketing major who is also minoring in sports management from Broadview Heights, Ohio, with his parents Mike and Sherry Green. Trey hopes to work in the sports business industry. Number 27, John Cole McAdams, a finance and accounting double major from New Berlin, Texas, with his parents Jim and Molly McAdams. John will be working as an investment analyst with Trinity's Office of Investments next year. Number 29, Zadrian Huerta, a business analytics major who is minoring in both data science and entrepreneurship from San Antonio, Texas, with his parents Tiffany Reyes and Valentin Huerta. Zadrian is applying for grad school and hopes to work in education as a teacher and coach. Number 32, Jax Crockett, who is working on his master's in accounting and is from Austin, Texas, with his parents, John and Angela Crockett. Jack is interested in getting into the field of energy storage systems. Number 32, Jack Lugo, a human communication major from Barr, Texas, with his parents, James and Crystal Lugo. Jack hopes to work with the federal government. Number 36, L.J. Brown, a marketing major who is minoring in religion from Dallas, Texas, with his mom, Lucy Brown, and his brother, Dondre Brown. L.J. is applying for marketing jobs in Dallas and hopes to work as a marketing analyst. Number 44, Greg Jones, a human resource management major who is minoring in finance from Brownsville, Texas, with his parents, Christy Jones and Jerome Jones. Greg is applying for master's programs in healthcare administration. Number 49, finance and accounting double major from San Antonio, Texas, with his mom, Kelly Whedon, and his grandparents, Jim and Judy Whedon. Roan will work in commercial real estate after graduation. Number 55, Connor Keel, a marketing major who was also minoring in finance from Lampasas, Texas, with his dad, Davis Keel. Connor is applying for master's programs for an MBA in general management. Number 59, John Adrian Dioli, a finance major who is also minoring in economics from Hillsborough, California, with his parents, Rich and Megan Dioli. John Adrian hopes to work in private equity. Number 69, Joe Meharry, a finance major who is also minoring in sports management from Dallas, Texas, with his parents, Amy and Chris Meharry, his sister, Ivy Meharry, and his girlfriend, Ella Charbonnet. Joe hopes to continue living a life of positivity, gratitude, and ferocious determination. Number 72, Caleb Bear, a neuroscience major from Grandview, Texas, with his mom, Missy Glenn. Caleb is interviewing for medical school and is applying to join the Air Force. He hopes to become an emergency medicine physician in the military. Number 74, Ryan Ainsworth, a finance major who is also minoring in economics from Dallas, Texas, with his parents, Jason and Joanna Ainsworth. Ryan plans to live in Dallas, pursuing a career in finance. Number 77, Israel Ortiz, a computer science major from San Antonio, Texas, with his parents, Felipe Naheli Ortiz and Naheli Ortiz. Israel plans to work in cyber for the government. Number 79, Wyatt Green, a computer science major from Houston, Texas, with his parents, Tom and Karen Green. Wyatt plans to work as a data scientist at Dell Technologies. Student recruiting assistant Jalen Martin, a communications major who is minoring in both business and sports management from Ashburn, Virginia, with her mom, Lavina Martin. Jalen is applying to master's programs and hopes to work in creative media within the sports industry. Student recruiting assistant Kylie Minter, a marketing entrepreneurship major from League City, Texas. Kylie will continue to grow her business and work in digital marketing. And now, the senior cheerleaders. Martha Cervantes, a human resources management and marketing double major from Mexico City, Mexico, with her coach, Natalie Salinas. Martha hopes to work in marketing or event planning. Lily Hackett, an environmental studies and English double major from Cypress, Texas, with her parents, Kevin and Michelle Hackett. Lily hopes to work in sustainability in San Antonio. Catherine Long, a psychology and human communications double major who is also minoring in linguistics from Houston, Texas, with her parents, Monica and Warren Long. Catherine is applying to law schools. Rosalie Lycum, a business and communications double major from San Antonio, Texas, with her parents, Lucy Lycum and Kyrie Papadopoulos. Rosalie plans to join the workforce. Liberty Mata, an English and communications double major who is also minoring in creative writing from Fort Worth, Texas, with her parents, Billy and Tammy Mata. Liberty is hoping to attend law school and eventually work on women's cases. Elizabeth McLaughlin, an accounting major from Bel Air, Texas, with her friend Eli Green. Elizabeth will be working as an auditor for Ernst & Young after graduation. Noah Moore, an accounting major from Cypress, Texas, with her parents Betsy Moore and David Moore. Noah is applying to Masters of Accounting programs while interning with KPMG Audit. Her next big goals are passing the CPA exam, starting her career in accounting, and visiting every U.S. national park. Let's have another big round of applause for our seniors. Folks, in addition to today being Senior Day, today's also the last day this season you can purchase Paws merchandise, and you can grab that at the black tent next to the home stand. Be sure to stop by, support the team, and pick up some Paws merchandise today. It's your last chance to grab it. Support the team with Paws merchandise. Please direct your attention towards midfield, where captains from both teams and officials will be meeting for today's coin toss. Ladies and gentlemen, joining the
hello and welcome to San Antonio, Texas, as we're all set to get underway here between Trinity and Millsaps. But first, the coin toss on Senior Day.
Position for the athletics department. We would also like to thank Dr. Schmidt and Teresa for their longtime support of Trinity Athletics over the years, and most recently a generous donation in support of student-athlete mental health. A round of applause for Dr. David Schmidt and his wife, Teresa.
Trinity has won the toss and will receive on this end.
Trinity's won the toss and is elected to receive the football first. Millsaps will defend the north end zone.
Hello and welcome in to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas, as we're all set for Millsaps and Trinity. The Trinity Tigers at 7-1, Millsaps at 5-3. I'm Cole Isaacson, joined alongside Andrew Thomas. Andrew, Trinity has beaten Millsaps 6 times in a row. What's it going to take to make it a 7th?
Well, last time that Trinity Millsaps played, as you just mentioned, it was a little over a year ago. Trinity won 38-24. Now, today is senior day for Trinity, and there's a pretty packed stadium here today, so they're going to be pulling out all the stops, trying to get a win here over Millsaps. Now, for Millsaps, who so far in the SAAA are around 3-2, so they're not too far behind Trinity, and I think they could give Trinity a run for their money today if they're firing on cylinders.
The head coaching matchup today, Brandon Lechenberg for Millsaps in his 2nd year, 5-5 last year, already at 5-3 this season, and then head coach Jeremy Urban on the other side in his 12th season with the Tigers as we're underway from One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas on this senior day. This kick will go into the end zone, but it'll be brought out by Nickelberry. Past the 20, Nickelberry lowers his shoulder to get it to the 25, and that's where Hondo Franklin and the offense will begin with the football. Last week for Franklin, 16 of 23, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown on top of that. And then the 51-yard reception on that double pass play that really got the offense going. They'll hope for a quicker start today, Andrew.
One thing we've been talking about pretty much all year is how, efficient the offense is, specifically, in the first kind of quarter.
1st and 10 at the 25. First play is a give up the middle to Huerta. Breaks away for a second, but eventually brought down by a couple of majors. This Millsaps defense statistically has been very hot and cold, ranks pretty low in a lot of important statistical categories. Talking to their head coach, Lechenberg, last week, he says, we give up an average of 28 points, but really it's more like we give up 50 or we give up 15. We'll see what the outcome is today for Millsaps. 2nd down and 8. It's a give. Huerta hesitating and then lowers his shoulder, leans across the 1st down marker down at the 36, a gain of 7.
Just on that play, it was a very late give there by Hondo Franklin. He just kind of stood back for a second. The last second, Huerta came in. So we're getting a look at here. Kind of almost goes into motion there. Huerta ultimately gets the handoff, makes a couple good cuts, good blocks, able to get down, pick up that 1st down, and keep the drive going.
1st and 10, 3rd play of the drive. Franklin, very clean pocket. Looking for a man downfield now, floats one down the sideline and incomplete, going for one of the seniors on this senior day, Sebastian Trevino.
Hondo Franklin, they're a little bit hesitant, as we're going to get a look at here. Had a lot of time to throw, wasn't really in trouble, just ultimately maybe got a little too close to comfort there on the Millsaps, defensive end on his left-hand side. Ultimately threw the ball. Maybe could have taken off with his feet, as we're probably going to see a lot of that today.
2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. Tigers trying to get back to their early ways in the season when they were consistently scoring touchdowns on their opening drives. Franklin throws on 2nd and 10. Pass is caught over the middle. That's Nickelberry. 3rd down and about 4 coming up.
Very quick, short pass there by Hondo Franklin. Found Nickelberry downfield. Nickelberry did a very good job there, kind of tucking at the last second as a Millsaps player coming hard and fast.
3rd and 4, first 3rd down of the drive. Ball spotted at the 44. Millsaps bringing some pressure. Franklin airmails it. Incomplete. Looked like he was going for Tavares on the far sideline, and Trinity will be forced to punt.
Very uncharacteristic there by Hondo Franklin, as he's, so far he and Tavares have been really firing all cylinders. Tavares being one of his top receivers so far. Now, on that play, though, ultimately speaking, Hondo Franklin, not a lot of pressure on him, but the pocket kind of was starting to tighten, and Tavares was in triple coverage and ultimately threw his way.
Jackson Runyon out to punt for the Tigers. They've been alternating between him and Bope recently. This kick, a bit of a short one, but high. Bounces inside the 30 and rolls towards the sideline at the 28, and that's where this Millsaps Majors offense will take over, led by Grant Bizjack, the first year from Trophy Club, Texas, and what a year he's had. 20 of 31 last week for 266 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. in that win against Southwestern, but on the season, over 1,800 passing yards, 19 passing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, a favorite for first year of the year in the SAA. They'll start with 1st and 10. Here's Bizjak. Looking to run, and he will. Going along the sideline and skirts out of bounds. Rowan Irwin dove in pursuit, but wasn't able to get him. And that's something that Coach Lichtenberg talked about, his athleticism and being able to make plays like that.
Definitely. Pocket wasn't really closing on him that time. They more or less kind of decided, hey, I'm going to take off with it, as he had a wide open lane off to his left-hand side. Good blockers. Kind of took Trinity off guard there, maybe.
So Millsaps, per usual, going with an up-tempo offense. Not even 20 seconds remaining on the play clock. He'll give it up the middle. That is Garman pushing his way forward. Decent gain on first of 3.
Garman so far for the Generals has really been lighting up the field with 396 total yards and 3 touchdowns so far.
Definitely something that this Trinity defense will have to account for. 2nd and 7 on the play action, going deep and incomplete. Going for his main man. That's Greg Donaldson. Delvin Gant in on the coverage.
Look at here. Bizjak does a good job, tries to get the throw off, but Delvin Gant really just really close in coverage. Wasn't allowing a lot there. Ultimately speaking, incomplete there for the Generals.
Also doubled up by Njoku on that play. They're going to be paying a lot of attention to Greg Donaldson. He's caught a touchdown in every single game this season. Now 3rd down and 7 from their own 41. Bizjak. Pocket collapsing, gets out of it, throwing on the run and incomplete. And Millsaps will be forced to punt after that. Marine on the coverage, the senior.
Fortunately there for Bizjak, the major kind of O-line really collapsed hard and fast as all the Tigers kind of came in, pushed it on him. And Lucas Marine did a very good job diving there, kind of making sure that the receiver was not able to get that ball.
Taj Colomb, the intended target. So Trinity punts. Now Millsaps with a punt of their own coming up. This one nearly blocked, and it ends up being very short. Lands outside of the 40. And that is where Trinity takes over. Intense pressure coming on the punt there from Jace Vasquez, the first year.
Jace Vasquez so far this season has been averaging about 41 yards per punt. That time, though, not quite what he's used to necessarily. As a lot of Tigers came in, kind of got in his face. Maybe we've seen a couple of block punts and a couple penalties on Trinity as they come in and like to swarm the punter.
So Trinity takes over at the 41. Special teams costing Millsaps some field position on that play. Tigers punted on their first drive after getting only 1 first down. We'll look to do a little bit better than that this time around. 11:46 to go in this first quarter of action for those of you just joining us. Fake to Sams, and they'll throw it out to the other first-year running back. It's Kaiser, but not a lot doing. A lot of white jerseys swarming that play. Only a gain of 1.
So far, this Trinity offense this season really been utilizing screenplays just like there. Now, most of the time, they're mostly successful, as earlier in the season, they had a 78-yard screenplay to Alex Tavares.
This one nowhere near that, only a gain of 1. 2nd down and 9. Give to Huerta. Trying to bounce around the outside, but one of the Millsaps majors in that pile able to just get him by his ankles and bring him down. Only a gain of 1. Looked like Jackson DeGeorge, the safety, coming in to make that play.
Very uncharacteristic there by Huerta. As, one thing we've talked about all year specifically is how aggressive and physical the Trinity running back core is, Huerta being one of them. Typically speaking, it takes 3 to 4 people just to take him down.
3rd down and 9, as they say that play went for no gain. Franklin going deep. Over the middle, it's Nickelberry, but he loses the ball. Millsaps looks like they're able to fall on top of it. They say it's a catch, and who has it?
We're going to get a look at it here. Pocket collapse, and Hunter Franklin puts it up. Has possession of it there, and it does come out.
Nickelberry still on the field, waving his hands, incomplete. The officials will discuss. Tough to tell if he had those elements of control. If it is a fumble, it looks like from that replay, Millsaps did recover. And it will be a fumble. Millsaps football. It's been a defense that's taken the ball away at an unprecedented rate for their program. 21 takeaways coming into this game. That was 6th most in the country. Make it 22.
Definitely very uncharacteristic there by the Trinity offense. As we can look at here. Seems to have possession as he has the ball in his hands, gets 2 feet down, spins, and it comes out.
First play for Millsaps goes along the far sideline, making some moves, and a nice gain on first down, as that's Donaldson on the wide receiver screen, getting him involved early. He's had at least 5 catches in 4 consecutive games.
Donaldson, so far in the season for the Majors, has 736 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns. Arguably speaking, he's Bizjack's #1 receiver.
2nd down and 2. Bizjack, floating one down the sideline. That pass is caught by Donaldson. All the way inside the 20, down at the 16. Cody Brown draped all over him, but Donaldson still able to make the catch.
Donaldson really showing off his athleticism there, as so far this season, Cody Brown has been incredibly locked down at the position for the Tigers. So we're going to look at here, Bizjack has so much time to throw, finds his man. Cody Brown really right there. Donaldson at the last second puts his hand right behind him and is able to pick it up.
They give it along the edge, but nowhere to go there. Trinity all over that play. Dorian Hill and Lucas Maureen in to make that tackle. The explosive play from Donaldson, really not a surprise. Talking to Millsaps head coach this week, Lechenberg, said that Donaldson is one of those guys that even when he's covered, he's still open, and you saw it pretty clearly on that play. Hard to do it much better than Cody Brown did. Flag flies before the snap, and this should be a false start. So a pre-snap penalty will back them up 5, 2nd down and 17.
They may be helping the Tigers as, we just saw that huge play from Donaldson. One thing that is a note for the Tigers is usually when they give up big yards, they don't really let it happen again.
2nd and long. Bizjack off his back foot, over the middle, caught! Touchdown, Millsaps! It's Braxton Garman coming out of the backfield, and Millsaps strikes first in this first quarter.
Bizjack did an incredibly good job there. Get the ball down the field as his pocket was collapsing. There's a couple Tigers in his face. Just kind of found his man, found a wide open lane. TJ Scannell there in coverage. Typically speaking, TJ Scannell's able to get up there and make something happen. That time, though, Millsaps was able to get it in.
So the Majors doing what they've done so often this year, getting the takeaway and getting points off of it. Extra point from Babin. Got it. 7-0 Millsaps. So we'll take a break on Tiger Network. You're going to want to stick around. This could be a good one. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Millsaps up 7-0 to the touchdown pass from Grant Bizjack, his 20th of the season. Now Trinity's offense will try to respond as they get the football back. Kick going high in the air, and Nickelberry will take it from his own 2-yard line. Bring it to the near sideline, a nice return, but brought down at the 30, flag in the back of it. So this should be coming back. But Andrew, while the officials discuss the turnover, the punt from Trinity's offense, they need to get this thing going if they want to win this game.
Correct. I've kind of mentioned a couple times so far today as we get a look at the kick here. Trinity, offensively wise, maybe in the last couple home games we had, very slow kind of starting out games. And then, kind of in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, really heating up, really, making sure that they know, hey, we are Trinity. Hey, we are, the nationally ranked football team that everyone thinks we are.
Trinity coming into this game ranked number 23, according to Division3Football.com. Their first time in the top 25, according to that poll, since they fell to Barry in their only loss of the season. Now behind 7-0 to Millsaps. There's a holding call on that return, backs them up to their own 12-yard line. Franklin sets up the screen, but Millsaps all over it. Still trying to fight for whatever yards they can get. And actually ends up being a reasonable gain up past the 15.
That pass there was to Maddox Morkovsky, number 28, the Tiger, who so far this season, we've only kind of seen him used a couple times, usually in and around the goal line, as they like to kind of push him in over.
Both of these teams not really getting their tight ends involved very much in the pass game, but Trinity doing so there. 2nd and 5. Fake to Milo and throw quickly to Nickelberry, who pushes his way forward past the first down marker, and Trinity will move the chains. Nickelberry trying to atone for that fumble on the last drive.
So we see another pass by Hondo Franklin there. Straight to Nickelberry. Nickelberry, good job there. Try to cut up, make a little something happen there. Maybe got 1 yard, 2 extra yards in that. Not much to add, though.
1st and 10 at the 27. Milo still the back for Trinity, looking for his first carry of the game. They fake it to him again. Franklin quickly incomplete. Bit high on that one once again. Chase Revian, the intended target. Trinity offense in the scripted portion of their game plan had the opportunity to talk to their offensive coordinator, Wade Lytle, this week, and talked about how they script the first 20 plays of the game. But not only that, they script third downs. They script their first several 3rd and 1 situations, 3rd and 3 situations, and then 3rd and medium and 3rd and 11 plus as well. So far, the script not exactly going the way the Tigers would have wanted here early on.
Definitely not. If you're a Tiger fan, you would have expected, Trinity to score on one of the first couple drive opportunities they've had so far in the game. Obviously, not quite the way it went, as the Majors are able to come out early and fast and get the first score of the game.
Quick stoppage. Not quite sure what that's about. The timeouts have not gone off the screen yet. 7 minutes remaining in this first quarter. See the total yards on their screen. Trinity, even in close games, has usually dominated this category of total yards, but right now getting outgained 81-56 very early on in this one. Tigers trying to get things going as we're still delayed on the field. Doesn't appear like anybody actually took a timeout. Didn't seem like there was an injured player walking off the field either. So either way, we're back with Trinity, 2nd down and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Jack Kaiser, the back for the Tigers. Here's a screen, and they flip it back to Kaiser, who's running down the sideline past the first down marker. Some trickery for Trinity. Worked last week against Sewanee, and they go into the bag again today.
They're definitely a unique play. As Cole mentioned it, they did a little bit of that against Sewanee, but as we're going to see, Hondo Franklin throws to Tyson Hancock. Hancock does a good job, flips it. Jack Kaiser there, able to beat him around the edge, maybe a couple extra yards and pick up the first down.
Was a trick play last week, the double pass to Hondo Franklin that really got them going against Sewanee after a slow start. We'll try and do it again. Here's a throw over the middle, and it's Hancock reeling it in. The hard hit applied by DeGeorge, but Hancock able to hang on Millsap's side of the field.
His pass by Hondo Franklin one more time. Does a good job. Able to get the ball off straight to Tyson Hancock. Does a good job able to get there. Was in coverage. Had about 2 majors right in front of him, run right behind him on the tackle.
1st and 10 at the 45. 2 backs in the game now, and it's Luke Sams, the first year, who gets the call. Lowers his shoulder. Just shy of that first down marker, a gain of 8 on first down.
So far on this drive, the Tigers really been firing, in usual Tiger ways. A lot of, quick check down passes, more or less, as, we've talked to Urban a couple times so far this season. And one thing he always, kind of tells us is we'd rather get the first down than, have a big, huge gain, maybe little chunks here and there. And so far on this drive, that's really been working.
2nd down and 2 inside of the Millsaps 40. They'll throw again. Blitz coming. Franklin lofts one down the sideline, going for his man. Incomplete, but a flag on the coverage. Going for Tyson Hancock towards the end zone, and it looks like DeGeorge involved on that play once again. Should be a gain of 15 on the penalty.
Tyson Hancock did a good job there, trying to beat the corner.
And we'll see if the flag actually was pass interference. Nobody moving yet. Saw DeGeorge tap his head twice, which would be the signal for illegal touching potentially. Meaning that Hancock potentially went out of bounds and was the first one to touch the football. Looks like that was the penalty. And it works the same as an incompletion. So 3rd down and 2 coming up. I was going to say, it didn't look like there was a lot there for pass interference, but that's usually the call in that situation. Franklin throws on 3rd down, incomplete. Bit hot for Nickelberry to handle. And now a 4th and 2, kind of in no man's land. Maybe a little too long to kick the field goal. The offense will stay out there.
Hondo Franklin there just kind of fired off a little too fast from Nickelberry as he took the snap, and really there was like 1 second, 2 seconds just released at Nickelberry. Nickelberry hadn't quite finished his route, more or less, and resulted in the ball being right in front of him not being prepared for it.
Now a timeout called. Looks like by Trinity, at least you would assume given the situation. Actually, it's a timeout by Millsaps. And we get some further clarification on that earlier stoppage. It was Millsaps that took a timeout earlier in the game when they had that random stoppage at the 7-minute mark. So the Majors now down to their last timeout of this first half as we see the numbers on the screen. It's been early, Andrew, but the action has really favored Millsaps until this drive, a critical 4th and 2 coming up.
Definitely. So far today, Millsaps, really came in here expecting, a bit of a challenge, I would assume, considering, we've talked about it a little bit. This is a very good Trinity offense and a very good Trinity defense as well. So, we're going to get to highlight that further today as we see the offense come back on the field.
When these two teams met a year ago in Jackson, Mississippi, it was Millsaps who got the 10-0 lead, but still wound up losing the game by multiple scores. Talked to Coach Lechenberg about that this week, saying that they need to believe they can finish this game, already out to a 7-0 lead to start this one, and a big 4th and 2 here. Hondo Franklin, the only man in the backfield for Trinity. Facing a blitz, and Franklin goes down! Zabian Bhutan was tied for the team lead in sacks coming into this game, now owns it with his 4th of the season.
Zabian Bhutan there, unguarded on the right-hand side. Definitely a miscue there by the Tigers as he had no one there, and he was able to just come in hard and almost we're going to get another replay here. Hondo Franklin there takes the snap. Zane Bouton unguarded, comes on the right-hand side, comes in, just takes Franklin down. Franklin quite wasn't able to go anywhere on that. And it's a huge stop there for Millsaps.
And now a massive opportunity for Millsaps at their own 46-yard line. Their defense creating excellent field position all game. This is a screen. Donaldson, who drifts out of bounds for a gain of 8 on first down. Talked to Coach Lechenberg about Xavier Bouton. They use him in a lot of different ways, at least they did early in the program. Outside linebacker, defensive end, the 3 technique. So good at pass rush and disruptive in the run game. But the thing that he said most of all was his intelligence about the game. Being able to play all those different positions, as this is a run up the middle. Gain of 5 and enough for a first down. But what a weapon Millsaps has on that defensive side of the ball. They haven't had the best season overall, but making key stops like that on that fourth down. Millsaps going up tempo. Floating one down the sideline, incomplete. Looked like Donaldson had a chance to reel that in while getting his feet in bounds. Couldn't do it.
Bizjack there did a very good job able to find Donaldson there. Donaldson had a Tiger right in front of him and right behind him. Donaldson there at the last second kind of turned behind him. Looked like he had his hands out like he was ready to catch it. Ball, ultimately speaking, didn't really want to lay out for that probably.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. The give, Garmin. And Trinity making the stand 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Tigers trying to get something going defensively. Even when they allow yards, you usually see them penetrate the backfield so easily. Haven't really seen that a lot today. Not a lot of tackles for loss. 3rd down and 8. Bizjack facing a free rusher. Has to escape out to his right. Throws across his body and it's incomplete. Tam Patterson was open, couldn't reel it in. What a play by the first-year quarterback.
So one more time, pocket collapse there as he had a rusher on him. Bizjack did a good job able to beat Jaden Powell there, who's the initial rusher, and Jackson Priesmeyer. Found his man downfield. Ultimately speaking, just wasn't quite able to reel it in. Maybe not expecting that one, as he thought Bizjack was just going to get run out of bounds.
Threw it across his body, managed to stay in bounds somehow. What an unbelievable play by the freshman quarterback, and that would have been a big gainer too. Patterson looked like he had some space to work with. Vasquez will come out for his 2nd punt of the game. Maybe an opportunity to pin Trinity. Gets this one away much more cleanly, but a bit too far, and it'll land in the middle of the end zone for a touchback. Trinity's defense making the stand after the Tigers offense couldn't convert on 4th down. See the replay of the punt here.
Very short field there for Vasquez. It's not really much he could have done there.
Saw the little deke from Nickelberry acting like the ball was coming towards him, trying to fake out the kick coverage potentially. Lands into the end zone. Not a lot that they could do about it anyways. Ball comes out to the 20-yard line. Franklin and the offense still looking for their first points of the game. Give to Huerta. A little hesitation as he gets to the line of scrimmage and then pushes his way forward. Ends up being a gain of 5. That's the thing with Zay Huerta, another senior being honored today on Senior Day, is he has these runs where he's a yard past the line of scrimmage and you think that's all he's going to get, and then he just explodes for 4 more out of nowhere.
What it has to do with the blocking too on the Trinity O-line, who so far this season done a very good job helping Zay Huerta, Johnny Milo, Jack Kaiser, Luke Sams, all these running backs that Trinity's really been utilizing so far this season.
2nd down and 5, under 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Only rushing 3 this time. Franklin has a man underneath. It's Hancock who makes a move and has an easy first down. Motors his way up towards the 40-yard line.
A good little screen dump off there by Hondo Franklin. He had a lot of time to throw. Really, no one around him, nothing to do. Ultimately, had found his man, Tyson Hancock. Did a good job, able to juke out a major there and get a lot of extra yards there on a play that really could have been maybe 3 or 4 yards.
Getting the ball in the hands of Tyson Hancock, who had a stretch where he really wasn't getting targeted very much. Not the case early in this game. Franklin, under some pressure, floats one down the sideline and incomplete. Going after DeGeorge again, but up to the task against Nickelberry.
DeGeorge did a very good job there as kind of body blocked that ball. Nickelberry wasn't able to turn around and get to it. Maybe a little bit underthrown there by Franklin as well.
Jackson DeGeorge, the first year from Spring, Texas. 20 total tackles on the season. Going after him a lot early today. He's been everywhere in this game. There's a give. So that's, looks like Jason Love actually gets a decent gain on first down, a gain of 6. Trinity has used 6 running backs already in this game. We see that usually throughout the course of the game, but in the first quarter, that's pretty unprecedented, at least for the home games that we've covered.
You know, it doesn't necessarily seem to be working as well, more or less, as, you know, the Tigers have yet to put up any points, and we're almost all the way through the first quarter.
Now a 3rd and 5. First year Jack Kaiser checks into the game. Play clock ticks down to 3. 0. And now the whistle blows. See if Trinity called the timeout. And they do not. They throw the flag for delay of game, so they'll back them up 5.
Don't quite know what the thought process there for Trinity was. Maybe just wasn't able to get the snap off in time. Maybe a couple of miscues there.
So the delay of game, now a 3rd down and 10, as opposed to a 3rd and 5. Surprised they didn't call timeout there. Clock ticks down towards a minute. Franklin facing a blitz, but has time over the middle and incomplete. Going for Nickelberry, but that knocked away as Ross was there on the coverage. Trinity forced to punt once again.
Ross did a very good job there in coverage as we see Hondo Franklin throw the ball there. Had a lot of time in the pocket, maybe at the last couple of seconds. Ross, though, able to get up, get around, get his hand right on the ball, and not allow Nickelberry to even have any sort of possession on it.
Jackson Runyon out to punt once again. This Millsaps defense has been all over Trinity's offensive attack today. A spiraling kick and a nice one that will roll out of bounds at the 10-yard line. So exactly the type of special teams play that Trinity needed in this one, as we're under a minute to go in this first quarter.
Very good punt there by Runyon. We see it one more time. It is very low, but it did a very good job there, putting a little extra spin on there as we see it. Just kind of bounce right into the 10. Ultimately out of bounds there.
Jackson Runyon taking the punting duties instead of Tyson Bope, who's one of the seniors that was honored today. Bope looking to be a doctor, wanting to go to med school after this season. Trinity's defense on the field against this Millsaps offense. Bizjack throws it to Donaldson, who spins away from his initial pursuer. Gain of 11 on first down, and a nice job to get out of the shadow of their own goalposts on that play.
Definitely a very, good job there, the Majors, as Cole just mentioned, able to get out of there. It's typically speaking.
Bizjack over the middle once again. It's just easy. Gain of 15 on that play as they continue to go up tempo. Derek Tasby making the catch on that one.
Typically speaking, when the opposing teams are soared towards their end zones, the Tigers are sending blitzes.
Bizjack, under some pressure, escapes to the near sideline and still goes upfield for a couple of extra. Looked like he was going to drip out of bounds at the 40. Ends up going more towards the 45 and getting the first down, as that is how we will end this first quarter. One controlled by the Millsaps Majors on the road. They're up 7-0. Stick around on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Millsaps up 7-0 as you get a look at the first quarter numbers. Trinity dominating time of possession, but Millsaps up 7-0, leading in total yards. As we flip sides in this one, the first play of the second quarter is a give to Patterson, who falls forward for a gain of 1. Some individual performers in this one. Bizjack, 6 of 10, 102 yards and the 1 touchdown, as he's been excellent today, Andrew.
Really been letting up this, Trinity defense, who is really dominant, particularly against the run, as we just saw there. Didn't really give up that many yards.
2nd and 9, they run again. And this time, maybe a gain of 2 back-to-back runs. Not going very far, and that's more like what we've seen out of this Trinity rush defense throughout the year, only allowing 75 yards on the ground per game. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Patterson stays in there after his back-to-back carries. Crowd getting loud for this one. Here comes the blitz, and down goes Bizjack. TJ Scannell coming in to make the play.
TJ Scannell there almost came out of nowhere. To see it one more time. TJ Scannell right behind the line, had no blockers, and was able to just get right in there. Very athletic, very agile there, and bring Bizjack down.
Scannell, another one of these seniors honored today, will be coming back for his 5th year. The son of the head baseball coach, Tim Scannell. He's been making plays all season, continuing this excellent recent tradition of linebackers, as the punt is blocked and scooped up by the Tigers. Down at the 21-yard line. Trinity special teams impacting the game.
Looked like maybe number 12, Parker Moeller, there on the block as there was no one guarding him. Be able to get in, get around, and get there, ultimately speaking.
Parker Moeller, the first year, making the biggest play of the game on senior day. And now Trinity set up at the 22. With the way the game has gone to this point, you would think an opportunity they need to capitalize on. They'll give to Milo up the middle, a gashing run on 1st down. Down to the 12-yard line.
It's the type of run we've been more used to here in Tigerland, as we see the handoff to Johnny Milo one more time. These running backs, we've kind of mentioned it once today, but very aggressive, very physical. We saw there he took 2 or 3 majors to bring him down there.
They call it a gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Milo stays in there. Millsaps blitzes. Franklin going for Tavares to the end zone, a bit too far.
The blitz there by the majors kind of took Hondo Franklin off guard there, it seemed, as he kind of quickly had to throw it up. Maybe Tavares was his actual, intended receiver there, as looked like he was running right towards the, back pylon, as we see it one more time. Majors jump off the line, no blockers. able to get there in the end. Johnny Milo did a good job right there with the block.
Justin Smith on the coverage for Millsaps. 3rd and 1. It's Milo lowering his shoulder, spinning away from a tackle inside the 10. Plenty for the first down. This drive set up by the blocked punt by Parker Moeller, who's stepped in with injuries when he's been called upon defensively as a corner, but making the special teams play, as now Trinity has 1st and goal from the 9. Fake to Milo, throws to the end zone, it's Tavares. Touchdown, Trinity.
Hondo Franklin did a very good job. Very quick pass there as he took the snap. Tavares was in motion. Clean pocket. Lots of time to throw. Found Tavares. Tavares did a good job there. The leap and keep possession of the ball as he got hit as he was coming down.
In that last home game against Center, we talked about the basketball background he has. Able to box out the defender on that play. It's Runyon again for the extra point. His first kick of the day. And it sails through the posts. As we're tied at 7, the blocked punt set it up. And Trinity responds with a touchdown, 7-7, as we'll take a break on Tiger Network. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. Trinity with a 22-yard touchdown drive set up by the block punt to tie this game at 7. Millsaps in the offense, ready to get the ball back. Kick into the end zone, but it will be brought out. Makes a cut and bouncing it to the outside. Out of bounds, just shy of the 30-yard line. Is Davis Dare on the return.
Dare did a very good job there with that return, as it doesn't look like he was going to get very far there, as a lot of Tigers were coming in. Was able to make 1 or 2 cuts there, beat him to the outside line, and pick up more yards than he was necessarily supposed to there. So we get the overhead angle there.
First down and 10 from the 29-yard line, as you see the return by Dare. Crowd making some noise, re-energized after the touchdown. Bizjack under pressure, escapes Wobodo, and escapes Scannell as well, stays on his feet. Was the pass caught down the sideline? Yes, it was. Davis Dare, as Bizjack escaped 2 free defenders to make that throw.
You're going to see the great performance of Bizjack one more time. Bizjack there, pocket collapsing on him, almost got tackled there. DJ Scannell goes in, kind of goes for his ankle.
They snap it, tipped in the air, incomplete. As Millsaps continues to go quickly. Flag thrown on the play. We'll see who this is on.
That one there ultimately tipped incomplete. Looked like Lucas Marine. Don't quite know who was on his right-hand side, but Lucas Marine kind of upset there, as he could have intercepted that.
And they're calling a personal foul after the play on Millsaps. So this will back them up 15, but not only that, it looks like they're going to count the down as well if it was after the play. The sticks still show first down for now. We'll see if they update, and they do. So this will be 2nd and 25, a catastrophic mistake. Long way to go. Here's Patterson. And he'll get some of it, maybe a gain of 4 on that play. Still 3rd and 20 coming up.
Not a whole lot happening there on that play with the run, as the Tigers, we've talked about it a couple of times, but specifically speaking defensively, their run defense is really where they kind of stand out. They do well against the pass as well.
3rd down and 21. Trinity blitzing. Bizjack escapes, throws one off his back foot. The pass is caught. It's Donaldson down the sideline, but the official's hat is off, as it looked like Donaldson stepped out of bounds on this near sideline. So we'll see what happened on the replay.
Maybe it looked like he did step out of bounds there, ultimately speaking.
Flag down on that spot. The official's hat comes off, so it's illegal touching, as they were 1 foot away from a 3rd and 21 conversion. As you already see how potent this tandem is. You'll see it again on this angle. Maybe blocked by the kicking net in the area where he would have stepped out of bounds.
Ultimately, definitely a big miscue there for the Majors.
So the penalty works like an incompletion. 4th and 21. Millsaps will punt for the 3rd time in this game. Trinity dodging a bullet, but once again that connection of Donaldson and Bizjack showing up. Greg Donaldson, a guy who transferred to them 2 years ago when Coach Lechenberg took over the program. They had an existing relationship before, as this punt is away and deep. Nickelberry will let it hop, and it takes a Trinity bounce up to the 20-yard line. But Donaldson and the Millsaps head coach had a relationship before he actually transferred there. Lechenberg tried to recruit him at his previous stop, but just didn't work out. Goes to Millsaps, and it was actually Donaldson that reached out to the coaching staff saying, hey, I'm looking for something a little bit closer to home. Do you think you'd be interested? And ends up working out. He's caught a touchdown in every game so far this season.
So far today, he's really been lighting up the Trinity defense as well.
Ball at the 20-yard line. Tigers starting with 2 backs in the backfield. Kaiser, one of them will go in motion. Sams, the other one, will get the handle as he punishes his way forward past the 25 down at the 26. Tigers trying to get some type of rhythm going offensively. Their only touchdown when they were handed the ball after the blocked punt at the 22-yard line. Still trying to work a full field drive, a couple of punts, 4th down stop, and the fumble. The outcomes of their other drives. Only rushing 3 again. Franklin throws down the sideline. It's Tavares going up for it and can't make the catch. The ball just a little underthrown. Tavares had to come back for it. Couldn't reel it in.
See the Honda Franklin pass here as he takes the snap. Looks Tavares. Tavares is kind of wide open. Maybe one person following coverage, one person to his left-hand side. Ultimately speaking, just kind of hopped up for it. Wasn't quite there. Now, speaking about rhythm point, most of these drives by the Tigers are starting off by a run, and then they'll transition to a pass, and then from there, just, whatever down it is, they'll script it.
3rd down and 4. After the incompletion, the big miss to Tavares along the sideline. This time, Millsaps blitzing. There's Tavares. Hard hit applied, but able to hang on to the football. 1st down.
Hondo Franklin, clean pocket, able to get it off in time. Find Tavares downfield by himself. Had 2 majors right behind him, ready to tackle if need be.
Peyton DePoli applying the hit, but Tavares able to hang on. Tigers with the ball at the 41. They fake it and throw it out to Nickelberry. Slips a little bit, but stays on his feet, able to get past the 50 and down at the 49. We'll see if that's enough to move the chains. And it looks like it is first down. Or, yep, now they are. They were not moving them. They gave the signal to move the chains, but only now is the chain gang starting to move its feet and go 10 yards. First and 10 after all that. Clean pocket for Franklin, and now he'll run. Stretches the football out to about the 45. They'll give him the 44.
Hunter Franklin, we haven't seen it much today. We saw it there, though. Really athletic, very good pocket control. Typically speaking, when the pocket starts to collapse, when he can't find anything downfield, you'll just kind of see him take off and try to beat people to the edge. That time there, wasn't quite able to get the first down, but, halfway there.
Both of these underclassmen quarterbacks so good with their legs. Now second down and 6. Delayed give to Milo. He's got some room. Milo breaking free into open field. In for the touchdown. A 45-yard touchdown for Johnny Milo. Trinity with their first lead of the game.
Johnny Milo, as we see the delayed handoff. We saw one earlier, delayed handoff that is, to Jay Huerta, but this one, Johnny Milo able to break a tackle there and just use his speed and athleticism to beat the Majors into the end zone.
So the first real explosive play we've seen from Trinity today. Runyon, 2 for 2. Trinity on top, 14-7. Getting it going offensively as we'll take a break on Tiger Network. Welcome back. 6 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes and 36 seconds on that drive for Trinity. So they now have their first lead of the football game, up 14-7. Now it's up to Millsaps and his offense down for the first time to respond. Kick brought out just shy of the end zone. And a burst. Staying on his feet and eventually going out to the 34-yard line was Bryce Wilkerson. Now Millsaps in this offense tasked with responding. They've had to do it so many times this year. The struggles that this defense has had at certain points in the season, they've had to match points, needing to do it again now.
So far today, offensively, the Majors really been firing on all cylinders. A lot of big passes we've seen so far today to Donald and, little short gains with the run game.
Receiver goes in motion for the Majors. They throw it that way to the back, Garmin. Stopped just shy of the first down marker, it looks like, a gain of 9.
See that pass one more time. Just kind of a dump off there from Bizjack. Maybe a couple of good cuts there, a couple of good blocks, and able to get closer to that first down.
Bizjack, plenty of time. Still time to throw. Escapes to the near sideline and runs upfield past the 50, slides down just shy of that, evading TJ Scannell. They'll spot it at the start of the slide, just shy of midfield.
Bizjack there did a very good job, able to escape the pocket. Now he did have a couple of receivers wide open right in the middle.
They throw the screen, Donaldson on the near sideline. And out of bounds, shy of the first down marker. They spot it at the 42-yard line. It's Millsaps offense. They go up tempo so fast that some of the people in the control room may be struggling to catch up. You can imagine how the Trinity defense feels. Bizjack caught as the catch is made by Blake Wiley, able to go down and get it.
There was a Tiger there who, don't quite remember the number there, but almost got Bizjack's pass there to Wiley as it kind of was low and short, right down the middle.
They spotted at the 29-yard line. Another new set of downs for Millsaps, trying to answer the Trinity touchdown drive as this game is starting to open up. They fake it, and it's Bizjack running up the middle, eventually brought down from behind. Parker Moeller, who blocked the punt, making the tackle. Still a gain of 9.
Bizjack in the last couple of plays really showing off his athleticism and pocket control. That time particularly, ultimately, didn't really have anyone and decided to take off downfield.
A give, and probably a good thing for Millsaps that was blown down. Priestmeyer all over that. So they'll discuss what the penalty is. And it is a false start, so they'll back up 5. Patterson was supposed to get the ball on that play, but Jackson Priestmeyer blowing it up, as we see him do usually once or twice a game. He's 2 yards in the backfield.
So far today, a lot of penalties on Millsaps.
2nd and 6. Here's a give, and Diego Davila making the stop. Patterson nowhere to go. As you're starting to see the flashes of this Trinity run defense that's top 25 in the country.
So far, the defense for the Tigers, maybe not necessarily slow, but, the Millsaps major is able to find holes and really exploit them. And as the Tigers retaking the league, the defense maybe kind of starting to settle in and realizing it's a full team effort now.
A big 3rd down and 6. Just outside the red zone. Bizjack looking for space and nowhere to go. Elijah Gonzalez there on the tackle, as you probably credit that to the coverage. Bizjack continuing to look downfield, really nowhere to throw it.
These last couple plays there, on this drive, really locked down coverage, as Cole just mentioned, downfield. Another thing that could have been a note is it kind of looked like there was a hold there on Naboto as he tried to get to Bizjack.
Millsaps on 4th and 8 will try the field goal. This a long one from 44. Kick on its way. Got it. Snuck it in the post. And that is the longest kick of the season for Babin, whose prior long to that was 36.
Gonna see it one more time. Just kind of goes towards the right-hand side, but right through the middle.
So now the score 14-10. Trinity still with the lead. Millsaps giving them a game, and that was something that Coach Lechenberg talked to us about, was the idea of turning this program around, and part of that was just getting them to believe that they could win these types of games towards the top of the conference. Said that when he got there after their 1-9 season 2 years ago, the talent wasn't as bad as it looked. Just needed to get these guys to believe that they could win some of these games, and all of that came to fruition when they beat Maryville, who was ranked at the time. Able to finish that game and provide the SAA a stunner. So nearly able to beat Center on the road, who's controlled this conference for a number of years. Kick will be brought out. It's Sams from his own goal line. And brought down at the 25.
Sam's one of the, new face returners, as he's a freshman, who really been impressing me so far this season. A lot of big returns, couple of punt returns, couple of kick returns that have gone for a lot of yardage.
Had a 100-yard kick return for a touchdown earlier this year, tying the school record. Also had a 53-yard kick return against Texas Lutheran in the first game of the season. Talk about Luke Sams impressing this coaching staff. They already knew he was capable of that. His first action was in a scrimmage earlier in the offseason against Shriners. Coach Urban has told us multiple times he scored his first 3 touches of the game. To give to Huerta, who stays on his feet somehow and is able to get past the 30.
Huerta there did a very good job as we get one more look at it. Had a lot of majors kind of come in and tackle him. One right there, able to get around there. Second one right there, ultimately tripping him up there.
Looks like he lost a yard on the spot. They give him the 30. Looked like more like the 31. 2nd and 5. Huerta still on his feet and ends up getting the first down out of that somehow. Just exploded out of the pile for a gain of 9.
So there is a major on the field. Nonetheless, Huerta did a very good job there. As Cole just talked about, able to break a lot of tackles, caught a lot of extra yards there, get that first down, keep the drive going for the Tigers.
As there is a Millsaps major down on the field, looks like DeCorian Warren will step away. Welcome back to San Antonio. DeCorian Warren able to walk off the field with some assistance. As we're about ready to go, Trinity with the ball at their own 40-yard line. 1st down and 10 after that prior play. Give to Huerta, who's still muscling forward, dragging the pile towards the 1st down marker and still going past it. A gain of 14 as he just kept churning his legs.
Huerta there with a little bit of extra help as we see it one more time. Does a good job able to break 1 or 2 tackles there, and ultimately speaking, Yo Line just kind of picks him up and takes him with him for the 1st down and some, as you see him keep going there.
Looked like Nakia Wilkins Lee dragged him forward. Franklin throws. It's caught by Nickelberry, who goes down the sideline inside the 30, out of bounds at the 25. And now this Trinity offense starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm, Andrew.
Rhythm, yes, indeed, as there was a quick pass there to Lamont Nickelberry on the left-hand side of the field. Was in coverage, one person right behind him, one person off to his left-hand side, able to use his speed and athleticism to get a couple of extra yards there.
Down at the 24-yard line, the clock running towards the 2-minute timeout. We'll see if Trinity wants to snap it, and they get it off. Franklin caught. No, incomplete. Tavares had it for a second, couldn't hold on. And that will take us to the 2-minute timeout with 1:53 on the clock. Trinity going towards the red zone, as we'll see that last play one more time.
Nickelberry there just kind of got hit trying to get up and get it, causing that incompletion.
2-minute timeout in San Antonio. We'll take a break on Tiger Network.
San Antonio's own DJ, ammunition, and the stand band. Be sure to stick around for halftime entertainment coming up next.
Welcome back to Tiger Network. You see the SAA quad box on your screen. Southwestern was up on Rhodes in the bottom left-hand corner. Bottom right-hand corner, you saw some interesting ASC action. Hardin-Simmons and UMHB tied at 7. And then the score that everybody was watching at one point, Barry and Maryville. Barry needing to lose a game in order for Trinity to get a share in that conference title. Doesn't look like it's going to happen today, up 35-7. Franklin will give it. Milo spinning away, already has a touchdown today and going for a little bit more there. Down at the 17-yard line.
A lot of delayed handoffs here by Hondo Franklin, as that was another one of them. You know, maybe trying to catch Millsaps off guard more or less, as, you know, maybe they're going to think that he's going for a pass. That time there, Johnny Milo did a good job.
Score currently 14-10 inside of 2 minutes. Whistle blows. And the third and final timeout called by Millsaps on this important third down. So Millsaps powerless to stop the clock, as we'll go back to our quad box here. But all the hopes, at least for Trinity fans, were placed really in this Barry game. It was the game that you looked at their schedule and said maybe this is the one they could lose, but ultimately Trinity not able to take care of business when they went up to Mount Barry. And it looks like, barring anything crazy, the Vikings will likely win the SAA as an undefeated.
Last year, if you remember the game against Barry and Trinity, you know, Trinity was able to win in overtime with a field goal for Tyler Huddle.
What a wild game that one was. This one trending in a similar direction. The Tigers trying to go up by 2 scores, though, with 1:21. Third down and 3. Milo still in the backfield. He'll get it. Up the middle, makes a cut and has the first down. Still going inside the 10. Actually staying on his feet. Getting all the way to the 5-yard line. Him and Huerta have been quite the physical combination today.
Johnny Milo took the handoff there. Made a good cut inside to juke one Major. And the Majors had 3 or 4 players there. Tried to free his feet, which kind of led ultimately to him going down there.
Connor Keel starting at tackle today. Another senior made an impressive block. Franklin floats one to the end zone. Tavares went up for it but couldn't bring it down. Justin Smith in on the coverage for Millsaps.
Justin Smith did a very good job to drape Tavares, as Tavares had to get his hands right behind Smith's helmet. Wasn't quite able to make the catch there, as the ball ultimately bounced off Smith's back.
Millsaps without any timeouts. Ball down at the 5-yard line. Trinity with all 3 of its. So if the Tigers have it their way, you're not going to leave any time for Biz Jack to go the other way for Millsaps. 2nd and goal from the 5. See if they throw it again. They do. They go for Tavares again. Did he catch that? Yes, he did! Touchdown, Trinity! 2 flags in the end zone for obvious pass interference, but Tavares said, nope, I'll catch it anyways.
See that one more time. Hondo Franklin finds his man, hits Tavares there. Tavares makes a very athletic catch there. He's falling down, maybe kind of tries to right himself one more time. And as he's falling, the ball falls right into his hands and just kind of sits down in the end zone there.
An unreal catch by Alejandro Tavares. And it puts Trinity up by 10. Runyon on for his 3rd extra point of the game. Got it. And Trinity now controlling this game a little bit. 21-10. 45 seconds left on the clock. We'll take a break on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Alamo City. Trinity, their largest lead of the game, 21-10, after a circus catch by Alejandro Tavares. Still 45 seconds on the clock for Millsaps. A high kick from Runyon will be brought out. Wilkerson trying to look for any space, but not finding anything. Down at the 11, 2 seniors in on the tackles, Adrian Moore and John Cole McAdams.
Wilkerson there tried to get maybe a couple extra yards there, cut off to his left-hand side, trying to beat him towards the edge. The Tigers able to get in there and bring him down. Speaking of look at there, cuts off to his left-hand side, tries to beat them. There is nowhere to beat them as all the Tigers come in and take him down there.
John Cole McAdams and Zadrian Moore, 2 guys that Coach Urban brought up in our meeting with them about guys that just embodied this senior class's quality of resilience, to some guys that rode the bench for a while, kept being good teammates, and even though they're not in starting position, still making plays like that. Biz Jack throws one to Donaldson, but the Tigers all over it. Diego Davila in to make the tackle. And we'll see how aggressive Millsaps decides to be. The clock does stop. And it looks like Trinity actually called the timeout. Maybe an opportunity for them to get the ball back.
Also there made Delvin Gant, who was initially on coverage, miss there. Davila came in at the very last second, brought him down. And there was really nowhere to go there for the Majors.
So you see more action going on in the SAA, but we'll stick to the action that's going on here. The timeout called. Andrew, let's talk about the situation a little bit. 2nd down and long coming up for Millsaps. Coach Urban deciding to be aggressive with all 3 of his timeouts, trying to get the ball back one more time. What do you think about that?
Well, it's definitely an aggressive, good play there. You know, if you're a Millsaps fan, you'd expect Biz Jack to throw the ball downfield, as he does have one receiver off to his left-hand side, and Donaldson off to his right-hand side. It would be probably a quick, maybe a slant pass, just trying to get the first down and keep the ball out of the Tigers' hands.
Ball spotted at the 9-yard line after the previous screen, lost 2. They give it. And working his way forward for maybe a gain of 4 or 5 is Garmin. Tigers, as expected, will burn that second timeout with 24 seconds on the clock. It was a game that started so well for Millsaps, up 7-0. But then, as we've seen throughout this season, the Tigers just slowly start to take command. Sometimes we've seen it like against Southwestern, up 2 at the break, and they win the game by over 50. Sometimes it takes a little bit to take into effect, but eventually Trinity just takes over the game.
So far late in the second half, they've really been doing that. And you expect coming out of the locker room, as you just kind of mentioned, all season, third quarter, fourth quarter, there's new faces, new ideas, but still the same Tiger grit and the same drive for victory.
Now a third down coming up. That last carry actually got 6 yards. So now a position where maybe Millsaps can pick this up and take it straight into the locker room unless they get a big play. They will run it. Garmin, not quite enough to get to the first down. Stopped at the 18-yard line, and with 18 seconds on the clock, Trinity will at least force them to punt and see what happens.
You would think with this punt here, the Tigers would probably just kneel it in, walk in the locker room, and not risk anything.
They have already blocked one punt today. It was Parker Moeller, and that really set up the Trinity onslaught that would follow. The Tigers offense couldn't get anything going. They had turned the ball over. They had a stop on fourth down. Weren't able to convert on that. But then that blocked punt set him up at the 22-yard line, able to walk into the end zone after that. And since then, it's been all Trinity. We'll see how aggressive they want to be here. Nickelberry is back to return it. He does have a punt return for a touchdown in his career. None so far this season. They get the kick away, a high, short one. Nickelberry steps up and fair catches it at the 50, so good field position for Trinity, burning their timeouts to earn that drive that they're about to get.
With only 12 seconds on the clock, you'd maybe expect a quick pass kind of out wide, maybe try to get the drive going. Or maybe they're just going to throw deep zone shots right to Tyson Hancock or Alex Tavares or Johnny Milo or something of the sort.
Don't exactly know what the range of Jackson Runyon is, who's been taking the extra points so far today. Hayden Rhodes had been their primary place kicker earlier in the year. We saw him hit one from 48 yards out. That was tied for the fourth longest field goal in the school's Division III history. Ball at the 50, no timeouts. Millsaps only rushes 3. Franklin taking a long time here. Throws it to the sideline. It's Hancock out of bounds with 4 seconds to go, but now pretty much your only shot is to the end zone. That play took way too long to develop.
Maybe a little bit of hesitation there behind Franklin. Didn't really have any receivers downfield wide open. Ultimately speaking, had to throw it off to Tyson Hancock, and Hancock did a good job able to get out of bounds there.
And it looks like they're actually going to say that that pass was incomplete. The official putting the ball down at the 50-yard line. So saying Hancock didn't get his feet down, and now your only shot is definitely to heave one to the end zone. So we'll see how far Hondo Franklin can throw a football. They rush 3. Franklin, with time, waiting for his receivers to get down there, heaves one. It'll be just on the goal line. The pass, it was actually caught, but at the 2. So ultimately, it will go down as a very big completion to end the half to Tyson Hancock, but no points will come out of it. We'll see it again.
Hondo Franklin had a lot of time to throw. Millsaps not really pressuring there. Tyson Hancock did a good job able to beat the heap there. Not really able to get in the end zone.
So that play will take us to halftime. 21-10, Trinity with the lead. You see the first half stats. Tigers dominating the total yards and the time of possession and up 11 on the scoreboard. We hope you stick around for the second half of action on Tiger Network. We'll be back with you in 20 minutes.
Every morning, we rise, ready to meet our human potential, to take that next incremental step, to do the hard work that changes. Set in our preparedness and confidence in that moment when you know, I've got this. And then we rise. Each of us, all of us. We rise as passions coalesce in research, art, athletics, and beyond. We rise to the challenge of inquiry and discovery through undergraduate research and hands-on learning. We rise through the personal attention of a small college, fueled by large university resources. We rise to the need for listening across differences, teaching the art and the act of conversation. We rise to the sounds of a vibrant, diverse, and culturally rich city, and we reflect it. At Trinity University, we recognize that you are here because you are ready to rise. And through a love of learning and a life of learning, we will challenge you to always reach beyond the horizon. Because your future awaits.
Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. The Tigers up 21 to 10.
Association, it starts with purpose. Excellence in the classroom, because learning never takes a back seat. Greatness on the field, because we compete at the highest level of Division III. And unmatched standards in how we lead, grow, and build a future. Excellence, greatness, standards. This is the SAA. Unmatched D3.
Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas. The Tigers up 21 to 10 over Millsaps as we're about set to get this second half underway. The Tigers elected to receive to start the game, so now they'll kick to Millsaps. This a short kick. Brought out by Dare from his own 10-yard line, looking for a crease. Not finding any. Gets it past the 20, brought down at the 23. First half belonged to Trinity ultimately, but it didn't start that way. Millsaps able to come out firing, up 7-0. Their quarterback, Grant Bizjack, the first year. So far, good stats to start his game. 11 for 16, 157 yards, and the one touchdown. Andrew, what do they need to get back to what we saw earlier in that first quarter as opposed to later in that first half?
Well, the majors really in the first half was kind of pulling apart the little picks and pieces of the Trinity defense.
They fake it. Bizjack takes it himself and has some space. Eventually brought down on the far sideline, but still a nice gain of about 6 on first down.
We've seen a lot of, Bizjack on the run so far. There's just another one right there to start off the drive. A lot of good cuts, a lot of kind of good looks there by Bizjack as he's able to get around, trying to beat them towards the Tigers towards the edge. Just not quite able to get there in the end.
2nd and 5. They give it up the middle. Garman comes up short of the first down marker. 3rd and 2 now coming up. Millsaps getting quickly to the line. Interesting formation. Bizjack takes it himself, slips a tackle, and has the first down and more. Past the 40, down at the 42. So already starting to see his legs get more involved.
See that Bizjack run there as he gets up past the first down marker with some extra.
Give up the middle. Garmin. There's a strong start to the drive for Millsaps. Gain of 5 on that run. Getting up to the line quickly, trying to run downhill on this Trinity defense. Ball spotted at the 46. Second down, it's another run. Garmin, this time, not going anywhere. TJ Scannell gets the tackle for loss.
Besides that tackle for loss, TJ Scannell so far in the day has had a sack on Bizjack earlier on in the game. It's the Trinity defense, was maybe a little bit slow in the first quarter, but so far in the second and early on here in the third, really been lighting up the field.
Third down and 7. Pass low, but caught, it looks like, by Colomb. And they will move the chains. It's enough for a first down.
Very short, low pass there. Bizjack had a lot of time in the pocket, ultimately found his receiver downfield.
Now on the Trinity side of the field at the 49. Here's a give. Patterson able to lunge forward and get a couple of extra on that. It ends up being a gain of 4. So far, the rushing attack's been very effective, and now we're starting to see that rhythm that Millsaps wanted to get into with this up-tempo offense. Second and 6. It's a sweep. Colomb, nowhere to go. Priestmeyer along with Diego Davila in there to make the stop.
One thing we've kind of talked about today a lot already is how good the Trinity run defense is. That's a great example right there of that tackle for loss.
Loss of 4, it's 3rd and 10. Seen Bizjack make a couple of creative plays today. See what he can do on this 3rd and long. Tigers bring a blitz. Bizjack escapes, still looking. Throws along the sideline, it's caught. Isaiah Sinclair making the catch, but had to come back for the football, not enough for the first down.
Bizjack did a very good job there to kind of beat the Tigers to the edge, get himself a little more space.
Now 4th down and 1 at the 40, they're going for it. Bizjack. First read wasn't there, now runs and has the first down, upended. Definitely paid the price for it. But he'll move the chains as it looks like there's a Tiger still down.
This is a replay with it. Bizjack does a good job getting his legs there, and 3 Tigers kind of come in and collide with each other there on that play.
And we'll step away while the injured Trinity player gets tended to. Welcome back. The injured Tiger is Jackson Priestmeyer, able to walk off the field under his own power after being tended to. Tigers certainly hope he's okay. He leads the team in tackles for loss. Bizjack upended on that last play, was able to get the first down, but does not start this play at quarterback. First down. The throw nearly intercepted. Gant had a shot at it. There is a flag in the backfield, so we'll see what this is. So they flagged TJ Scannell for roughing the passer. A new quarterback into the game was Quez Goss, the junior from Forest, Mississippi. The pass is incomplete, but he ends up moving the chains anyways.
Definitely a costly error there for the Tigers, as it could have allowed them to get back on offense.
Bizjack back into the game. Garmin the back. Ball spotted just outside the 20. Garmin loses the football. Did Trinity fall on it? Looked like they may have, waiting for the official signal. And it is Tiger football.
Big play there by the Tigers. We see the handoff. Tries to get up there, beat him towards the end. Oh, can't quite see who was on the tackle there.
Looked like it was Moeller who forced it. Parker Moeller, the first year, having a day on senior day. Blocks the punt, forces the fumble, as Azriel and Gotcha able to recover it for Trinity. Their first takeaway of the game. Both of these defenses came in towards the top of Division III college football in forcing turnovers. Tigers 24th in the country, Millsaps 6th. Both of them have taken the ball away once. Trinity getting their first of the game. Give up the middle. And Millsaps all over that. Nowhere to go for Milo, who was the Tigers' leading rusher in that first half. 5 carries, 77 yards, and a touchdown.
You would expect to, see Johnny Milo utilized a lot more, considering, what Cole said about his first half.
2nd and 10, as they say, no gain on that last play. Low snap. Franklin able to reel it in, now has time. Finds Hancock, but not very far down the field, maybe a gain of 1. It'll bring up 3rd down.
That play there, pretty much just a nothing, as Hondo Franklin really had no one open downfield, as we're going to look at there. Hondo Franklin trying to find someone, just ultimately, picks Hancock.
3rd down and 9. Trinity trying to make something happen after the forced fumble. Franklin fires over the middle. It's Nickelberry. Makes the diving catch at the 49.
Good gain there by the Tigers. You see Hondo Franklin, a lot of time to throw, no really any pressure. Finds Nickelberry. Nickelberry did a good job there to get over as he kind of take a couple extra steps and maybe a little dive there to corral the ball in and keep the chains moving.
1st and 10 after that 3rd down conversion for Trinity. Milo still the back, as Nickelberry will come in motion. They get it to him. It's a screen. Bounces to the outside, but dragged out of bounds past the 50. Justin Smith able to make the tackle on that play.
Tigers so far on this drive, with the little short screen passes or short dump off passes they've done, really haven't been successful, as they've maybe got a 1 or 2 yards on every single one.
2nd and 7. After that last play, went for a gain of 3. Here's a give. Huerta gets to the outside, spins to the sideline, but the flag flies. So we'll see who this is on.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 14. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So another costly personal foul on Millsaps. This one a face mask.
Definitely a good penalty if you're a Tiger fan, as gets the chains moving and gets the Tigers closer to the end zone.
First down and 10 at the 29. An important stand that Millsaps and their defense needs to make. Tuerta still shoveling forward, getting all the way to the 25. The amount of times he's gotten 3 to 5 extra yards on a run today has been pretty impressive.
Huerta there with the help of good blocking was able to break a couple tackles and keep going. We've brought it up a couple times how aggressive these running backs really are. Huerta so far today has taken 3 to 4 majors just to bring him down.
Second down and 6 after the gain of 4. They'll throw. Franklin with time, lofts one down the sideline. Nickelberry went up for it, incomplete, but a flag. And the indication this time is going to be pass interference against Millsaps.
We get another look at it here. Hunter Franklin, a lot of time in the pocket. Majors really aren't blitzing, and Nickelberry tries to get down there. Just not quite able to get there in the end.
Ron Ross, who's been matched up against Nickelberry a lot today, called for that pass interference in the end zone. Moves the ball 15 yards all the way to the 10. Sets up first down and goal. Jason Love into the game. In the backfield next to Franklin. They give it to him. Love to the outside and in for the touchdown.
Jason Love does a very good job there, beating all the majors. He makes a couple cuts. As we don't look at their handoff, makes a cut right there to the outside, and blue skies, green fields. Jason Love runs on into the end zone.
Jason Love, his first touchdown of the season, as Trinity extends its lead to 3 scores. Runyon already 3 for 3 on PATs. And now 4 for 4, 28 to 10. Trinity taking over as we'll take a break on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Tigers up 28 to 10, their largest lead of the game. Jason Love, actually his second touchdown of the season. Scored his first against Southwestern. Pretty easy to forget. A lot of people scored touchdowns in that game. 65 to 14 win. This kick towards the corner. And a fair catch made by Dare as Millsaps will take it to the 25. Tigers scoring that touchdown off of a turnover, and talked to defensive coordinator Paul Mahalik a couple weeks ago about that mentality, forcing takeaways, and that combined with our talk about turnovers with Coach Urban this week, talking about how they haven't really gotten many of those in these last couple of games, but they always have that mentality of attacking the football. Just hadn't gotten the ball to bounce their way lately. This time they get the fumble and they recover it. First and 10 for Millsaps. Give up the middle. Patterson. A nice run. Broke free for a second. Was tracked down on the play by Parker Moeller, who's just been everywhere today.
Parker Moeller is kind of stepping into a kind of rhythm that, usually speaking, TJ Scannell's been in.
They give it to Patterson again. Speaking of TJ Scannell, able to make the tackle on that play. Maybe a gain of 5. And there is a Trinity Tiger that goes down Diego Davila, who had gotten up for a second, and now the training staff rushes on the field to see what's going on. A flag also drops right in front of that. So we'll have to see what that is. Wait for the announcement on the penalty. It was dropped very late.
Diego Davila, prior to just falling down there, was very slow to get up, kind of stumbled around a little bit. And then, you know, he kind of fell there, ultimately speaking, having head coach Jeremy Urban and the rest of the training staff to come out and see if he's okay.
And I think they just called another personal foul on Millsaps. Didn't hear the exact announcement, but they're backing him up 15 again. So that's the second personal foul that's occurred after the play for the Majors.
Millsaps, they've really been plagued by a lot of fouls. A lot of costly miscues here today.
Give to Patterson, who has a lane. Patterson makes a cut and dives past the 45-yard line. So exactly what the Majors needed. Nice gain of 15. And now a third and very manageable.
So we see Patterson's run one more time. Makes a couple of good cuts there.
Millsaps snapping the ball quickly. Bizjack trying to get to the edge but won't be able to. Several maroon jerseys in to make the tackle there. One of them the first year, Cody Brown.
Cody Brown been relatively quiet today, but so far this season, really been holding it down in the corner position, making a lot of big plays. He had a pick 6 earlier in the season.
On 4th and 8, Millsaps deciding what they wanted to do for a second, but now will bring the punting unit onto the field. Talked about Cody Brown, and how Coach Urban told us the story about how Judson Crockett was originally starting at that corner position. Felt comfortable enough. Cody Brown, as the punt is blocked again! This time it's picked up by Palachek, and was it again? Parker Moeller, his second of the game. Let's see on the replay.
Just one more time. Parker Moeller beats him around the corner, gets there. Another blocked punt for the books for Parker Moeller.
So Parker Moeller with 2 blocked punts and a forced fumble today. May have already clinched Special Teams Player of the Week. This is Moeller, a thorn in the side of this Millsaps punting team. Sets up Trinity at the 35. Milo running downhill, gain of 8 on first.
Little run there by Johnny Milo to start off the drive, as he did ultimately make a cut towards the inside when he could have cut out towards his right-hand side, as he had, you know, green or blue skies there trying to get down. And one thing that is of note is typically on these Trinity drives, you know, they'll start the drive with a short little run and then they'll transition to a pass game right after, is what I would expect to see here.
We'll see if that's the direction they go. 2nd down and 2. Milo remains the back. Gets it. Trying to find space for the first down and does that and more all the way inside the 20. Brought down at the 18-yard line.
Not quite what I expected there, but nonetheless, Johnny Milo does a good job there again with another run. That time there, it doesn't make a good cut towards the outside, makes a cut inside, which ultimately leads to him being brought down there, but nonetheless picks up the first down.
Milo, after those carries, nearing the 100-yard mark, currently at 85. They fake it to him. This time it's Nickelberry slipping away, lunging for the end zone. Waiting for the signal, down just short at the 1-yard line.
Well, Nickelback did a very good job after the quick pass from Hondo Franklin. Made a couple cuts, made a spin move there. And just kind of got dragged right down, right at the 1 yard line. As we look at here. Johnny Milo just kind of spins there, tries to break the secondary tackle, isn't quite able to get there. Maybe he was able to reach in there, not quite sure.
No review at this level, so they will snap it. Franklin throws across his body. They tried to set up Connor Keel for a touchdown. Had Nakia Wilkins-Lee out in front of him as a lead blocker. Oh, what could have been.
Fortunately, didn't quite work out there, but could have been a pretty cool moment to witness.
We'll see if they try and throw it to a different offensive lineman or if it'll be more of a conventional play this time. 2nd and goal from the 1. They will give it to Milo. He's in for the touchdown. And it's been all Trinity since this 2nd quarter.
If you're a Tiger fan, that's something you would definitely expect. As so far this season, offensively, the Tigers really just been dominating at all levels. Maybe only a couple games that are a little bit shaky.
Runyon, a familiar sight, lining up for an extra point. Definitely getting a lot of practice today. Kick is good. 35-10. Trinity continues to add to their advantage, but we'll stick around on Tiger Network and we'll talk about this senior class, as it is senior day potentially, and likely the last home game for this senior class that's been here for the last 4 years. Had the opportunity to talk to starting center Caleb Baer, who's a part of that class, and he said that Coach Urban told them this week, you'll always remember the first time that you walk up those steps to the stadium, and you'll always remember the last. And they walked up those steps for the last time potentially today.
If you're a Tiger fan, hopefully speaking, Tigers will be back, but, it is up in the air currently. The next couple weeks will decide what happens there. Nonetheless, even if it is the seniors' last time walking up the stairs, they've definitely built a legacy and held the standard. And
this a senior class that has won the 3 previous SAA conference titles. As Trinity will send it back to Millsaps. Dare brings it out from his own end zone. Slips a tackle for a second, but good coverage. Stops him shy of the 20. They've at least had a share in that conference title the last 3 years. 4 overall before they got there. Unlikely that they're going to be able to do that this season, as Barry did beat Maryville today. So Barry, with a win next week, will secure a conference title for themselves, an undefeated one at that. But still, Trinity in position to make the postseason if they win their final 2 games, in the top 20 in NPI, which is the metric used to decide who makes it and who doesn't at the Division III level. Fighting for one last home game, though. We'll see if they can get that draw and what happens. Try quarterback power. Maybe a gain of 2 from Goss. We've seen come in for Bizjack a time or 2 to run plays like this. Bizjack does check into the game now. But talking to Coach Urban about that senior class, they said that their biggest quality is resilience. Talked about it a little bit earlier with John Cole McAdams as an example. Guys that weren't starting early, stayed on the team, became great teammates, and some of them aren't even starting now, but still taking on that role. Bizjack spins away and eventually brought down. Jackson Priestmeyer able to get back into the game after leaving it earlier. Which that in culture and that presence to be a good teammate regardless of your role on the field.
One thing that Urban's really, highlighted to us, over the course of the season really is just the next man up mentality, making sure that even if you're not starting, you've been on this team for a while, mentoring the younger players.
3rd down and 3. Bizjack trying to escape. able to get to the edge. We'll see if that's going to be enough for the first down. It looks like it is by a couple of yards. As the officials have to go pick him up. Took a hard fall into the Trinity sideline. That's something that Coach Urban's talked to us specifically about. Jaden Powell is another senior that we can have the opportunity to shout out here. Powell, a guy who came into last season a junior expecting to maybe start, was supplanted by Ryan Ventura. This season, his senior year, wasn't looking like he was going to start. Ventura getting those snaps, but suffers an injury early in the season. Powell gets his start at Pacific Lutheran University in week 3, ends up intercepting 3 passes. Bizjack throwing across his body, going deep, incomplete for Donaldson, who's been quiet ever since that first quarter. But Jaden Powell said he's affectionately known as Sarge. Really an example of bringing a younger player up because he still mentored Ryan Ventura even when Ventura was getting the snaps.
Shows the kind of mental toughness and the sort of attitude of helping out your brother no matter what's going on.
After the incompletion, 2nd down and 10, still 34 seconds to go in this third quarter. Millsaps has a long way to go to get back in this one. A game they led 7-0. Run up the middle, maybe a gain of 2 as they go back to Garmin on that play. Seen a lot of seniors getting time today, particularly in the secondary. Lucas Marine getting the start. Not a usual starter at safety, but he's made some impact plays today. So we haven't seen anything out of Judson Crockett today. Third quarter clock winding down. Millsaps gets the snap away, throw over the middle, nearly intercepted. Parker Moeller again. Nearly had the hat trick, a blocked punt, a forced fumble, and an interception as it falls to the ground to end the third quarter.
See that one more time. Looks like Jaden Powell there sort of helped with that as he hit Bizjack when he was releasing that bar. And Parker Moeller just body blocks and almost could have intercepted it. Not quite, though.
That takes us to the fourth quarter of action. We'll take a break on Tiger Network as we switch sides. Trinity 35, Millsaps 10. Welcome back. As you see UMHB and Hardin Simmons on your screen, the Crusaders up 21-10 in that game. Huge ASC postseason implications in that one. This game, Trinity needing to win out to make the postseason in all likelihood, forcing a punt. Short kick returned by Jack Kaiser, not able to slip away. And a flag on the tackle, maybe a little bit too rough. Nate Johnson there on the play for Millsaps.
Yeah, look at it here. Nate Johnson just comes in and maybe a face mask there as he pulls him down.
Couldn't tell from up here if he had that shoulder pad or the face mask live, but very clearly on the replay, grabbing the face mask.
Face mask. Kicking team, number 1. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So that is the call. Add 15, another personal foul penalty on Millsaps. It's been plaguing them today. Hondo Franklin is coming back out there onto the field along with a large majority of this starting offense. And as we'll see at what point guys start to get subbed out. Game not fully over yet. Still only a 25-point game. Give to Kaiser. Excuse me, that actually is Welker Horn into the game. Kaiser still running up to the 9-yard line. So it is that point in the game, Andrew, where guys will start to come out. Hondo Franklin's day is done. He leaves this game 35-10. Welker Horn's turn to take over.
Welker Horn also showing off the very late handoff there to Jack Kaiser as he made the run. I don't quite know what they, maybe have seen against Millsaps to allow them to do the late handoffs there.
Ball spotted at the 44. Here's Jackson Williams, another senior, trying to make a cut. Does so inside the 40 to the 39. Jackson Williams, another guy who we've just seen flashes from. I believe the 7th running back to be used by Trinity today.
One thing that is of note is there's a lot of depth at the running back position with Johnny Milo and Zay Huerta, both seniors, both leaving after this year. There's a lot of young talent. Jack Kaiser, Luke Sams.
First and 10 after the run. Horn has his man. It's Schmid. Forced out of bounds just shy of the 30 at the 31. Several seniors' days you would assume would be done. We'll see what it looks like on defense. Anthony Njoku, who's made a couple of plays today. It's his senior day. See if guys like him come back onto the field. Second down and 2. It's a give. Williams has the first down. Plenty of room. A lot of that starting offensive line still on the field. Caleb Bear, all-conference center, along with Connor Keel, who's been on his right side for quite a few years now. Tried to set up a touchdown maybe to go his way earlier in the game. We'll see if they do something similar. So the drive continues inside the 30. First and 10 at the 28. Now into this 4th quarter of action. It's a give. Sams with some room. Brought down just shy of the 22. Flags in the backfield, though. Looks like this will be coming back.
Looks like it's probably going to be a holding call on the Tigers.
Seems like that is the call. It'll back him up 10. Talk about this Trinity offensive line while some of those starters are still in the game. Talked to Caleb Bear about it, and it's been an interesting group because so many of those guys have been here for the last 4 years. They started the year with 5 seniors across the board starting on the offensive line, but then a bit of a shakeup on that left side. So Nakia Wilkins-Lee and company came in. Here's a throw to Sams. Has some space. Sams all the way inside the 30 down to the 24. Getting a lot of that penalty yardage back.
Luke Sams did a good job there. Just kind of a little bit of a dump-off pass there by Welker Horn. Made a couple cuts there. Cut towards the outside sideline and may have got a couple extra yards because of that.
But Caleb Bear on that offensive line shakeup saying it wasn't too much of an adjustment, worked with so many of these guys throughout the year. And he loves that the culture is whoever's playing the best is who's going to come in, and that's part of what these seniors help to establish. 2nd and 6. Horn trying to escape and does so along the near sideline. Staying in bounds. Horn shoveling his way forward. Down just shy of the goal line. Lowered the shoulder going for the end zone. Ends up getting knocked out at the 1.
Welker Horn there pretty much made something out of nothing as the pocket kind of looked trying downfield. Pocket collapsed there, rolled out toward the sideline, and just kind of kept going, kept his feet in bounds. A good job to escape that tackle and go all the way down, probably at the 2, I would say.
Brought the hammer. And now Colin Bishop comes into the game, another senior. Seen him score a few touchdowns on quarterback power today. Here it is again. Bishop going for the end zone, diving in for the touchdown.
Colin Bishop, who, as Cole was mentioning, we've seen him, a couple of times so far this season, a lot of QB runs. That one there, maybe a little harder than what he's used to, as he had to almost Superman dive into the end zone.
So Bishop getting into the end zone once again this season. Seen him utilized like that so many times this year. Extra point. Good again, 42-10. Trinity in command. Another touchdown by a senior on this senior day to put him there. Welcome back on the Tiger Network. Trinity up 42-10 on Millsaps. It was a game that Millsaps led early for those of you joining us just recently. But Trinity has taken command, very similar to the matchup between these two last year, where the Majors had the 10-0 lead at home, but Trinity ended up winning that game by multiple scores. This is a short kick fielded by Dare, and he has no choice but to go out of bounds inside of his own 15-yard line. And we'll see how many of the starting defense comes back onto the field. Based on what we're seeing walk out there, it looks like a bit of a mix. Anthony Njoku out there at safety. Delvin Gant still in his corner position, along with Cody Brown on the other side. That's a defense that's made life hard for Millsaps all day. Top 10 in several categories. Talked to Coach Mahalik about that and told us very bluntly that he does not care about statistics, very process-oriented coach. But he'll take them if they're that good. They're 8th in total defense in Division III football. Once again, doing their part, holding Millsaps under 10 points after things were looking a bit rocky early. Gave up the touchdown early. But since then, Millsaps has struggled to move the ball really in any way.
Trinity defense really stepping up, as you were just kind of highlighting. They're nationally ranked, and rightfully so, as so far in the second half they've stopped the Donaldson and Bizjack duo, who in the first quarter is really lighting up the defense.
Done this today without one of their best players, Judson Crockett, who hasn't played today. It's been a lot of Lucas Marine filling in for him, and he's done such a good job along with Parker Moeller. They bring a blitz on first down. Bizjack throwing across his body, incomplete. Going for Cologne. Cody Brown on the coverage. Talking to Coach Lechenberg, he said that they just have a little bit to go in order to play at the top of the conference. That's the ultimate goal for this program. They've elevated from the bottom of it where they were just a couple of years ago, and now working more towards the middle, but still a little bit of room to work, as he said was shown by the fact that they lost 43-20 against Barry. But the first step was getting these guys to believe, and they did that, and that's part of why they beat Maryville and gave Center as good of a game as they did. Throws down the sideline. Going for Donaldson, but incomplete. Cody Brown matched up against him.
Donaldson there almost had it, kind of Odell Beckham style, as he seemed to have only one hand in the air trying to bring it down, but ultimately incomplete.
3rd down and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here comes the blitz. Bizjack able to escape and now runs, has the first down and a lot more, slides at midfield. Jaden Powell had him dead to rights, but Bizjack showing his athleticism, able to get away.
Bizjack there did a very good job as the pocket collapsed. Two of the Tigers kind of ran into each other, as Bizjack rolled out.
Time for Bizjack this time. Rolling to his right, throwing down the sideline. Incomplete. Going for Colomb there. And a couple of Tigers in on the coverage, including Marine.
Looking like a combination of Cody Brown, Parker Moeller, and Lucas Marine all coming together to try to stop him.
Second and 10, their own 48. They fake it, throw the screen, Colomb. And looked like he was closer to the first down than they're giving him, calling him a yard short. We'll set up 3rd down and 1.
Good try there as throws it off. Made a couple good cuts. Tried to get up. Wasn't quite there.
They fake it, and it's Bizjack with space. Bizjack showing his speed down inside the 10. Evan Cool able to make the touchdown-saving tackle.
We're going to see Bizjack's run one more time. Does a good job. Kind of good blocks. Runs off to his left-hand side and has wide open space to go down. One thing that is of note is Lucas Marine, a couple plays ago, sprinted off the field and, entered right behind the medical tent. Don't quite know what's going on there.
Evan Cool still in the game, his replacement right now. It's Colomb getting the ball and working his way inside the 5 to the 4. And we'll see how quickly Millsaps wants to get to the line. Trinity making some substitutions. Roan Irwin comes onto the field for the Tigers. 2nd and goal from the 4. Clock ticks down towards 8 minutes. It's a direct snap. Patterson powers his way forward, dives into the end zone for the touchdown. So Millsaps, after a long hiatus from the end zone, finally finds their way back there.
Very good job there by Patterson, able to just, at the very end, throw himself forward. Had a Tiger tackling him.
And they will line up for the extra point, trying to make this 42-17. Scoring just inside the 8-minute mark. Able to get a little bit of offensive rhythm going. Extra point. Got it. And the lead is 42-17 for Trinity. Millsaps working their way down the field. Their first touchdown of the second half. We'll take a break on Tiger Network. Welcome back. Getting late here in San Antonio, 42-17, deep into the fourth quarter. Just under 8 minutes to go in this one. Kaiser brings it out from his own end zone. Trying to cut back, able to get past the 20, but that's... Oh, still going. Able to get out of the pile and go all the way past the 35. Very surprised a whistle didn't blow for forward progress on that one, but Kaiser able to take advantage of it and escape.
Just that one more time. Jack Kaiser tries to get out towards the sideline, makes a cut there. Has a lot of majors on him that keep him up, I guess, as my Tiger ultimately comes in and help pushes him forward.
Chase Revian, it looked like, just grabbed him out of the pile and sprung him for about 15 extra yards. Trinity now with the ball at the 36. And we get a stoppage. Timeout called by Millsaps. It'll give us an opportunity to continue to talk about this senior class we've seen so much from. But one interesting story I found out this week, and it was interesting just because it gave us a sense into how this team operates and some of the culture things they do, is they have this thing called the Leadership Council. So they have about 4 captains a year, but they're more leaders than captains on a team, so they want ways to develop leaders in the ways they can. And part of that is by selecting the Leadership Council. So what will happen is it's about 15 to 20 people. The coaches will select who's on the Leadership Council going into the fall season. And then after the fall season ends, players will be selected that are new, because you can't be on the Leadership Council for 2 semesters in a row. And what will happen is they'll write letters of recommendations for people that they feel should replace them and take their seat. So it's a way to get a player's perspective into how the locker room works. And Coach Urban says that with several instances in his 12 years, he's learned ways different people lead that he had no idea. 1st and 10 coming out of the timeout. Kaiser nowhere to go. But I just found that that was an interesting story, that the coach can't be in the locker room, and the Leadership Council is a good way to see what's going on inside there without actually being physically there.
Definitely a more unique sort of thing to, especially for D3 football.
Definitely. Found the letter of recommendation part particularly interesting. The idea that you have to choose someone to replace you, and who do you think is going to be worthy of that spot. Clock ticks down to 7 minutes to go. Here's a give, as that's Jackson Williams working his way forward for a gain of about 6. But one thing that comes out of that Leadership Council is something called the Tiger Pride Award, which they give out every week. And it's to someone who showed leadership or showed what being a Trinity Tiger is all about in that particular week. And this week's award went to L.J. Brown, who has a very interesting story overall. Brown, a senior who was pretty highly recruited, actually. They thought his sophomore year that he was going to step in and have some significant playing time. Give up the middle to Williams. Not quite enough for the first down. Stopped about 2 yards short. But dealt with a bunch of injuries. Talked to Caleb Bear about it, and he said that he can't count the number of times that he strained his hamstring. Just a really unfortunate circumstance. Had those conversations where, hey, is it worth it to stay since I'm not getting playing time? Ends up staying and ends up traveling with the team for the first time in his 4 years, and makes a big play on a goal line stand against Sewanee. Really an example of what Coach Urban said the senior class was about, sticking with it, really fighting through adversity, and eventually taking advantage of the opportunity once he got it.
So far today, they've really been taking advantage of the opportunity.
Tyson Bope on to punt for the first time today. High spiraling kick, fair catch called by Dare, and he'll take it at the 17. But I just found that to be a really interesting story. Not a guy that we talk about really a lot, not a guy that you see a lot in the game, but somebody that definitely deserves to be shouted out for sticking through it, as we've got some pushing and shoving towards the end of this one. Flag flies. And we'll see who this is on. If it's on Millsaps, it might be their 5th personal foul of the game. Definitely an issue for them so far today.
Typically speaking, penalties have always been a plague of the Tigers so far this season.
And this one will be on Trinity, actually. We'll move the ball forward 15 yards for Millsaps. But so many of these seniors who got honored today that, just had some things that didn't go quite their way. Like Trey Green, for example, 2 years ago was a starting corner on this team. He's dealt with some injuries ever since. Hasn't been able to play this year. Jack Lugo hasn't been able to play a lot. Greg Jones. But so many of them have contributed to what the Trinity Tiger culture is actually about. So they move the football up past the 30 to the 32. Millsaps taking over with 5:28 on the clock. First down and 10, down 42 to 17. Give Patterson shuffles his way forward past the 35 to the 36. For the seniors in this class, wide range. It was a pretty big class overall when they got him in here. Millsaps working quickly. Clock ticks down to 5 minutes. Bizjack. Time to throw. Eventually has to escape. Luke Campbell was rushing in, and Bizjack eventually just has to go out of bounds past the 35. For these seniors, so many star players on this team. Johnny Wobodeau, one of them, who we haven't really shouted out today, hasn't had a big impact on this game, but so many other games where makes a game-wrecking play, like that game 2 weeks ago against Center, had the game-winning safety. And then guys like we just shouted out that just are a big part of the culture behind the scenes that you don't really see on the field. 3rd down and 5. Quickly underneath. Caught past the 45 at the 46. That's the first catch of the game for Willie Elliott.
Definitely, as Cole, you've kind of been talking about today, you know, one thing that Urban really kind of stands out to me is really been highlighting more about the behind-the-scenes stuff than just all the on-the-field action.
Bizjack runs again. Seen him do that plenty of times. Takes a hit, but bounces off of it. Dorian Hill lowered his shoulder. Had a free shot at the quarterback, able to bounce off of the hit. Gain of 8. So we've seen the flashes of Millsaps' first-year quarterback.
Just the replay of it right there, just kind of lowers his shoulder. And maybe a little bit startled about that, but nonetheless regains composure and keeps going. So there's a timeout now.
So we see some action from UMHB's game. Looks like Hardin Simmons has the football down 4. The minute 40 to go. This game not only ASC implications, but maybe an avenue for the Tigers to potentially host a playoff game. You would think, looking at the geography of everything, since that's how most Division III seeding stuff is measured. UMHB, if they get in with as many losses as they have so far as an ASC champion, maybe that's the path for Trinity to host, kind of like it was last year. A 2-loss team ended up hosting UMHB, the winner going to Hardin Simmons. We'll see if it works out again this way this year. I don't know exactly how the NPI is shaking out with that, but definitely a possibility for the committee or whoever it is to decide. Maybe a chance for these seniors to get one more home game. We'll have to see. That game would be 2 weeks from now if it were to happen. More likely than not, Trinity going on the road, though, to give, and Dorian Hill in the backfield to make that stop. Clock under 4 minutes to go now. Loss of 3 on the tackle for loss by Hill. Kind of a mix of starters and fill-in players on the field right now defensively. Bizjack going deep, double coverage incomplete. Dare wanted a flag, and he'll get 2. It'll be pass interference, looks like maybe on Gant.
Delvin Gant so far today has really been holding down that position as we see Bizjack's throw one more time. Looked like Anthony Njoku and Delvin Gant in there together. I don't quite know who the flag was on.
Either way, it's 15 yards and a first down for the Majors. One streak to keep in mind here on this drive for Millsaps. Greg Donaldson has a touchdown in every single game this season, does not have one today. Made impact plays in that first quarter, but ever since then, Trinity's found a way to take him out of the game. He's currently at the top of the screen, outside the frame right now along that sideline. They give it. Garman up the middle and in for the touchdown. Wide open spaces, back-to-back touchdowns for Millsaps to thin the deficit.
Very good run there. Makes a cut or two. Just not much there to Tiger defensively, and he's able to bring it on home.
So now the extra point to achieve the palindrome. It is good, and 42-24. That'll make Reed Rosales happy. I believe he's currently calling Trinity volleyball. Encourage you to keep tabs on that game against Hardin-Simmons while this one's happening. So many Trinity sports in action. Remind you, this is a doubleheader week for Trinity University and the Tiger Network. Women's basketball will open their season at 6 p.m. tonight against Emory. Looking forward to that one. Me and Reed will be on the call for that. Trinity women's volleyball winning a big game last night against Southwestern to secure the SAA regular season championship. Next weekend in Atlanta, they'll have the SAA tournament where the Tigers will be the #1 overall seed. Currently 10th ranked in the country, trying to advance to another final site, which is something we've seen quite frequently from them. Saw that UMHB Hardin-Simmons game once again coming down to the wire. So much good action happening today at the Division III level. Trinity set to get the football again. This kick over Kaiser's head and into the back of the end zone for a touchback. Talked about this offensive line for Trinity a lot today. How many seniors are on it. Joe Meharry has really held down that guard position all year. Ryan Ainsworth and Izzy Ortiz started the year, removed from the starting lineup, but still contributing behind the scenes, and also when they get the opportunity to play. And also just the depth. We talk about it from the running back perspective, but the idea that you can shuffle an entire side of your offensive line and still feel comfortable, that says a lot about the talent that the Tigers have.
Had the opportunity to talk to the Tiger defensive head coach or coordinator, and he had nothing but good things to say, and said every single piece on the field is more or less interchangeable.
That goes for offense and defense. Here's a give to Jason Love. He has a touchdown today. Gets a gain of 7. Talked about it throughout the day. So many seniors, from whether it's Izzy Ortiz or Ryan Ainsworth, who get consistent playing time, all the way to Wyatt Green, who, by the way, is going to get a job at Dell. Good for him. So many seniors that contribute in so many different ways. I believe the last one we have yet to mention is maybe one of the unsung heroes for the last 4 years, John Adrian Dioli, the long snapper, a dual sport athlete, plays on the baseball team from Northern California. Give up the middle, enough for a first down for Trinity. Clock ticking down towards that 2-minute timeout. But to have the same long snapper for 4 years and to keep that operation so consistent, it's helped them in so many big spots, especially when they had Tyler Huddle last year.
Even so, this year we've had the opportunity to talk to Kirch Urban about his newfound kickers and punters. Because Tyler Huddle was a do-it-all man last year for the Tigers, and this year we've seen a mixture of Hayden Rhodes, and so far today we've really just seen Jackson Runyon, who's really been locking it down. We saw Tyson Boat pump once today, and he talked about how it's a whole unit effort, and when the unit's clicking together, the unit really is one of the best in the country.
2-minute timeout in San Antonio. We talked about all those kickers, but none of it happens without J.A. snapping the football. Does it so well. As we see Trinity University volleyball, we've got dual sport action. Service error, it looks like, from Hardin-Simmons. Trinity up 1-0. Currently up 11-6 now in the second set. Opportunity to close the regular season on a high note. Trinity volleyball, faced with so much adversity this year, losing 3 games in the same weekend at home for the first time in I don't even know how long. This has been such a good program under Julie Jenkins. But now back to their winning ways. I would try to call both games, but to be honest, I have no idea what to do with volleyball.
You and me both.
So we encourage you to stick around with the Tiger Network all day. So much happening as we get back to this game. The 2-minute timeout, 42-24. Trinity with the lead, trying to run out this last little bit of clock. Jason Love is the back. Low snap. Horn has to spin away. Takes it himself along the sideline, diving towards the first down marker. And out of bounds, just shy of it, a gain of 9.
Very good job there from Horn. As the snap was maybe about ankle length, as we see it right there again. Just able to roll off towards the sideline and make something out of nothing there. Took a little bit of a hit there, but he lowered his shoulder into it.
Clock still winding. 2nd and 1 coming up. Tigers trying to go 8-1 on the season. Give to Sams. Looks like was able to get to the first down marker. Still trying to push his way forward. There's a flag on the play, so we'll see how much all that effort matters when it's all said and done. Does stop the clock temporarily at 67 seconds.
Flags seem to come out right as the snap happened, as we gonna look at here. Got all the way up. Maybe a face mask there on the running back.
And it looks like that is the call. They'll move it forward 15 yards. That also put Trinity over 500 yards of offense. Something they've done quite a few times today. A season that featured a program record over 740 yards of offense against Rhodes. Season of so many highs and lows. Well, really only the one low against Barry, if you think about it. But such consistent play in the second half of a lot of these games against conference opponents. And one more snap should just about do it. Here's the give. And not really anywhere to go for Jamel Nickerson. And that should just about do it. Get another look at what's going on in Belton, Texas. As both sides will line up for handshakes. This one is over. We don't know if this will be the final time that these seniors walk up those steps. It may very well be, but they at least put themselves in a position with one more win next week against Maryville to lock up a postseason appearance. 42-24 is your final score.
A bit of a slow start here in Tigerland, despite the final score. But, as Cole has talked about so frequently today, this is a program that's incredibly strong. The next man up mentality, the give it your all, give it your best. And, as we've talked about today, the seniors really have done that. And even if this is the final time they've walked up that stairs and been here in Tigerland, they've left a legacy and really created a mantra and a winning path for the future at this school.
Trying to make the NCAA playoffs for the 5th consecutive season. Maybe it won't be as a conference champion, but so many accomplishments throughout this year and so many accomplishments from the last 4 years from this senior class. As the handshakes continue, we'll stay tuned to watch potentially the final alma mater of many of these seniors' careers. I'll walk to the line. It looks like still some discussions happening between Millsaps and Trinity as the highlights continue to run. Millsaps still not walking off the field. Some words being exchanged Looks like coaches on both sides trying to intervene. Haven't seen any shoving or anything like that. Just words being said. And now everybody looks like they're starting to head their separate ways. As Trinity will get ready to line up for their tradition. We'll wait to see who this alma mater is led by. Still some commotion happening at about center field. And some people having to be held back now. Looks like things actually escalated. These players on both sides are running hot right now. Definitely not something we usually see at the end of these games. And it's drawing some reactions from the fans. It's like the Millsaps coaching staff yelling at their players to get back to the locker room, and now eventually everybody will go their separate ways. Still some handshakes and hugs on both sides. Hondo Franklin in particular looks like saying good game to a couple of the Millsaps players. We'll see what happened here on the replay.
Looks like off.
Can't tell if that's Nickelberry or Zadrian Moore, who was really upset. Something was said.
It looked like more than just number 5. It was off to the right-hand side of the screen. You didn't show it, but there's a little scuffle going on as well.
As we'll let you listen to the alma mater. And that was the alma mater, led by Caleb Baer for potentially the final time. As post-game skirmishes aside, a smooth end to this one. Trinity with the 42-24 win. Big thanks to everybody who helped put this production together, everybody coming in on a Saturday to work camera, work in the control room, and especially to our executive producer, Josh Mechagemba, for, as always, putting it all together. And make sure to stay tuned for the Tiger action that we have coming up later today. Trinity volleyball still going on. Trinity basketball on at 6 p.m. tonight. For everybody here in San Antonio and my partner, Andrew Thomas, I've been Cole Isaacson saying so long from San Antonio. Thanks for tuning in.
Every morning, we rise, ready to meet our human potential. To take that next incremental step, to do the hard work that changes. Set in our preparedness and confidence in that moment when you know, I've got this. And then we rise. Each of us, all of us. We rise as passions coalesce in research, art, athletics, and beyond. We rise to the challenge of inquiry and discovery through undergraduate research and hands-on learning. We rise through the personal attention of a small college, fueled by large university resources. We rise to the need for listening across differences, teaching the art and the act of conversation. We rise to the sounds of a vibrant, diverse, and culturally rich city, and we reflect it. At Trinity University, we recognize that you are here because you are ready to rise. And through a love of learning and a life of learning, we will challenge you to always reach beyond the horizon. Because your future awaits.
isn't occasional, it's expected. But what truly sets us apart is our culture. Belief in education through athletics. A standard that's as high as the goals we set